stuff out of the way that this is CGI. It seems to be a favorite these days. It's kind of a weird excuse. I haven't had anything of high enough caliber HD quality to do anything like CGI. So like I said, it's an odd excuse to me. So, as you can see, kind of starting off slow. If you didn't hear me, I said we're kind of starting off slow. So that way, you can see all the intentions of the maneuvers, okay? See this? Distance is never a factor, okay? I hope that caught that well enough because I can't see what the camera's seeing. The distance is not a factor, okay? Your energy, because it is in fact energy, works at light speed. So basically the minute that you apply, the very second that you apply that thought, all right, it's already going in the system. And then the system can either register it and say yes, or it can register it and say no. Sometimes people find it very difficult to maintain a constant connection. Well, that's the whole thing, is you're actually connected, okay? So given the fact that you are actually connected, it has a right, when that suggestion goes through, to accept or decline it. So the thing is you have to get your connection so strong, all right, that you can do it whenever, however, okay? Now, we're connecting into the ambient environment, the energy that already exists. So we've talked about this so many times in so many other videos. This is the connection to your ambient source, where you can just grab, reach, and all this stuff that is around you, you can basically animate, okay? Because that's what that is you're animating the energy. You're getting the particles to collide and they start to move, okay? So these movements should be 100% obvious. 100% obvious. There should be no question to you as to whether this is occurring. I make sure to come up and make direct movements so that all can be seen, okay? I'm not sitting here doing things and hoping that I'll get lucky. Hoping that somehow that the items will just move right when I move my hands. That's not what's occurring here, okay? If you notice, one thing can do something totally different than the other thing. All right? See that? What makes this possible? Okay? I'll tell you what makes it possible. Number one, you're in a mathematically gridded matrix. Okay? So it's what makes doing things like this possible. If you were in a real, true, three-dimensional, hard environment, then you wouldn't have any access to energy or being able to move back and forth, because this would actually be a hard environment. Okay? So you've got a system that is replicating a different system. This is designed to be hidden in plain sight. Okay? But if you have the animation gives you have the connection that you can just reach in and then animate the energy at will. Basically being able to grab your creator role. God wouldn't have created that way unless it wanted you to be able to access it. Alright? But the thing is you yourself have to want to make that relationship with God. God, which composes everything within the system and outside of the system, okay? Again, I've talked with you about loving every single thing that's out there, every ant, stone, you name it, love it. Why? Because it's a part of you. It's a piece of you. Those that you consider to be negative entities out there that many of you hate because you think that they're controlling you, well, I can tell you this. When it comes to the idea of control, they only have the amount of power that you willingly give to them. So if you feel like you're under control, it's because you've willingly given that out. They have the illusion of control over things down here. They've got the illusion over illusions. So they got the illusion of control over money, which is an illusion. They have the illusion of control over the military and power and bombs, which is also an illusion. Okay, so what they have is illusions of illusions of illusions of illusions. Okay? And then it's up to what you want to believe. But in this particular system, if you're able to grab your creator role and you're able to start working with the energies, the divine energies which compose the universe, then you're no longer in the game of being controlled. You're no longer even in that category. And you can choose to still think that you're in that category, but the fact of the matter is, again, they got no power other than what is directly given to them by you. So as long as you have the illusion that they have that type of power and authority and control over you, well, then you're granting it to them. Believe me when I say once you have really learned who you are, you understand that there's really no threats out there. That it's all in your head. It's a construct. If you ever see the movie Revolver, Revolver's great because it tells you that very thing. That the only enemy out there is the one that you created for yourself. There are people who do bad things, but whether you consider them to be your enemies is all up to you. Right? So, but what this is all for, all these teachings, is to give you back your role to your creatorhood. Give you back your access. Or at least remove the blinders from your eyes that is preventing you from gaining the access. Like I said, this stuff is hidden in plain sight. So it makes it kind of difficult, I guess, to really see it for what it is when it's really sitting so much in front of you. Okay? When you were a child, I'm sure most children had more than one experience. Some people out there have talked to me before and they said that they truly had no weird experiences when they were kids, and I understand. Something must have blocked that off. But when you come into this world, okay, especially as a child, number one, your pineal gland is pretty wide open and developed all the way up until the onset of puberty. Okay? As soon as puberty begins, it actually begins to shrink. And because of less and less use, okay, it makes it easier to calcify, and the only times that it's really ever utilized is basically during REM sleep or right before you die. Okay? So if you can learn how to exercise this muscle, this gland, okay? Because that's what it all is. That's what your whole chakra system is. If many of you are not familiar with what the chakra system is or what it actually does and the rectangular process that makes it possible, then I would definitely highly suggest going to seriously Avatar Energy Mastery Institute, because it's explained out extremely well. Okay, this is your technology that makes all of this possible. Okay, your soul system can already do it. Okay, the thing that composes you, the thing that drives this body, it can already do it. It's just whether you can re-access. Okay, your body is made of compressed energy. Okay, this is the speed of light squared, sitting there oscillating all through you. Speed of light squared. That's what I am. I'm matter. You're matter. Okay, so that means you've got this entire light system right here, which is guided and you're able to interact with it. Okay, you can actually completely open it up by thought alone. But the thing is it takes practice. It takes effort. When you think, every single thought that you have is connected by a neurosynaptic charge. That neurosynaptic charge in of itself is a burst of light. It's almost like giving birth, actually, okay? Because everything is, in matrices like these, everything is composed of light, okay? Just different densities, vibrations, frequencies of it. So everything is composed of light, and by merely thinking, you create a charge. And if this is composed of the same light, the speed of light squared, okay, then obviously, look, that light is going to interact with the light of something else. Okay? See? Given the fact that Einstein told you what this place was, E equals mc squared, energy equals mass times speed of light squared. Given that you've been given that, all you have to do is apply that knowledge. Apply it. This truly is what you would call applied mathematics right here. Okay? All energy can be measured. It definitely goes in different frequencies, wavelengths, and oscillations. Okay? We know that much. Okay? There may be certain things that our equipment can't register yet, but that doesn't mean that there isn't equipment that is within the universe that cannot measure it, because believe me, everything out here has a number. Just walking through this like this, okay? I just walked through several different forms of grid systems. Okay, watch. I'm walking through it now. Buffers my numbers as I walk through. Okay, so if I walk in that diagonal here, I'm going to get a slightly different result than I would if I had just walked right across from it. Because what's going on is, take a look, these grids, all of these grid lines, this light that exists between here and here is registering as I walk through. And as I walk through, it buffers those grid lines and numbers start to shoot through. So again, take a look. I walk up to it now. I'm behind it. Now it's going to buffer right up until all the numbers I change just a little bit, if I change my movements just a little bit, okay, it'll cause it to rebuffer differently. See? I'm not actually trying to move these at all. What I'm sitting here doing is moving my hands through the grid system, and the numbers are all colliding, okay? And as those particles collide from one grid to the next, boom, 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 those numbers start to change things, and it starts to create magnetism or wind, okay? So the reason why we're even experiencing wind at this very particular second because I'm walking through, I'm talking about things, which talking in of itself is energy. That's energy exchange. Okay? See, I'm talking about things, and I'm kind of standing here talking to a camera. And as you can see, when I talk to it, it starts to register those numbers. So it begins to move again. This is how much we're projecting energy at all times, but most of us don't know it. The other thing is, depending on your mastery level, I mean, you can be ejecting tiny, 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 tiny amounts, all the way up into these massive, copious amounts that cause tornadoes, hurricanes, and everything else. Okay? So, depending on either A, your level of mastery or level of awareness, is how the system is going to react accordingly. Okay? So, if you have a low level of awareness, believe me, it's going to act in a low level. If you have a high level of awareness, it'll act accordingly. And then you'll get to the point where you can actually literally turn up and down the amount of energy at will. See that? You can just sit there and turn it up and down. So, let's take a look for a second. Let's just watch it do its thing. Okay? So this isn't actually me moving energy. I mean, it is to a certain degree. But what it is me actually hitting all of these grids that are in between everything, and then the system reacting accordingly. These are just numbers being changed within the grid structure. On and you can turn it off at will. To a certain degree, though, we're always running energy. Okay? To a certain degree, we're always running it. But again, I want to stress the fact that once you understand it, okay, you can turn it on and off at will. So understand that that's how the matrix actually operates. Tons of energy, tons of ambient energy resonating from the earth and out, long wave, short wave radiation, blending frequencies, sometimes frequencies that cross over, okay? And there's intelligence because light is intelligent in of itself. Okay, you gotta remember that light is intelligence. Your compressed light. You are intelligent, okay? That means that this whole system, because it is compressed and made of light the same way, it is thinking all in of itself too. It is an organism. It is a thinking organism. The earth that you're on, or that you believe is an earth, that's thinking. Every animal that is within this. because we're all one and we're all made of the same thing. Believe me when I say, a lot smarter than you will ever imagine. And they do placate you. Trust me when I say, these beings are smart. They're extremely smart. And because this is a matrix, hacking can occur. Viral codes can occur. So this is the reason why you learn to master yourself fully and completely, so that you are in control of how your personal system operates in your local reality, okay? There are times when it's important to be able to affect the collective as well, but the most important thing is to be able to, at this particular point, master what is within you, so that way whatever is within your vicinity will operate according to the preferences that you set. All right. I think that's a really good video. We didn't need to do a lot of blasting. We just needed to show what this place is made of. Okay? And we needed to show that it literally is a light grid, a system. Okay? And that system can be tapped into at any given time. Someone's calling me. Hello? And I'm out making a video right now. I actually just mentioned Avatar Energy Mastery Institute in the video. Alright, so 1 second. I'm turning this off now. I'm actually talking to Michael as we speak. So, camera's going off. Bye. Okay.